Hi everybody, I'm Esther Gent. I'm the volunteer manager for Poplar. Welcome to your Felix project info session. So today we're going to talk a bit about the problem. We're going to talk about our story, so who's Felix, what we do and becoming a volunteer. So the problem is actually twofold, what we try to tackle, and that is hunger. So the UK's rate of food poverty is among the worst in Europe. So pre-pandemic, about 1.5 million adults and 400,000 children faced hunger in London. And during the pandemic, that food insecurity more than doubled. So now 1 in 4 young people are experiencing food insecurity, and 14% of adults living with children are experiencing moderate or severe food insecurity, an increase of 2.5% in just 6 months. A Lords report published in 2020 said that low-income families were left with little or no choice about diet, forced to eat unhealthy food or to simply go without. The second part of the problem that we try to tackle is food waste. So worldwide, 1/3 of food around the world is wasted. If food waste were a country, it would be the third highest emitter of greenhouse gases behind the USA and China. In the UK, we waste around 10 million tonnes of food every year. 30% of food waste in the UK comes from manufacturing, processing, retail, hospitality and food service, which means a significant amount of food is wasted before it ever reaches our homes. So just to talk to you a bit about where the Felix project came from, it was actually set up to commemorate Justin and Jane Byamshaw's son, Felix. So this is a quote about Felix from Justin. So this is my son, Felix, who died suddenly from meningitis in 2014. Felix was full of compassion for those without his advantages, and in early 2015, I was searching for a way to commemorate him. What stuck in my mind was a boys' football tournament he played in. Felix told me he'd been upset to learn that many of the 10-year-old boys on the opposing team hadn't had anything to eat that day. So our vision is the Felix Project believes in a vision of London where no one goes hungry and good food is never wasted. And together we believe we can win the fight against food waste and hunger in London. So what do we do about it and how do we do it? The structure of the Felix Project. So we currently have 4 warehouses and a kitchen, and you're lucky to be volunteering in Poplar, so you have the warehouse and the kitchen next door. So the kitchen actually takes surplus food directly from the warehouse, cooks with it, produces meals, and then that gets taken out to our frontline charities and community groups. We have 31 vans across the 4 warehouses, and we also have a central London operation where there isn't a warehouse, and that's made up of cycling and walking routes. And they take the food directly from shops through to the charities. We have about 650 volunteers and just under 1,000 frontline charities and community groups, and also about 500 suppliers that give us that food. So we take surplus food from lots of different organisations. So we get a lot of food from Tesco. We get food from Kellogg's, from Sainsbury's, from Waitrose. We also deal directly with farmers, so we get food directly from the field as well, wherever we can. And so in terms of where the food actually goes, that's also really varied. So we deal with very small charities and community groups up to places like the British Red Cross that get 2 van loads of food from us every week. So you can really see there are lots of different organisations, after school clubs, domestic violence refuges and homelessness shelters. So our impact during the pandemic. So during the first lockdown, we worked with Fair Share and City Harvest to form the London Food Alliance, and we'd allowed to deliver enough food for 125,000 meals a day. With 260,000 people in London are given food every week. So in 2020, we delivered enough food for 21 million meals, and in 2019, we delivered enough food for 6 million meals. So you can really see the increase there in the numbers in terms of food volume and the people that are receiving it. So volunteering at the Felix Project. So just to talk to you now a bit about some of the roles that we have available that you'd like to get involved in. If you'd like to get involved in. So warehouse roles, that's one of our most popular roles. So it means you're in the warehouse, you're sorting the surplus food. It's quite a physical role. You're getting the food ready to go back out to the charities. We also have a popular volunteer driver role as well, and that is taking the food from the warehouse out to the charities. And we have a co-driver to assist if you would like, so somebody to come with you and help navigate and find the charities and also help to load and unload the van. We have an office support volunteer if anybody's interested in getting experience volunteering in an office. And we also have a volunteer allocator role. So when charities join up to get food from us, they get to select their, the food that they definitely do want and the food that they really don't want. So they have a food profile, and a volunteer allocator will look at the food profile, will look at the food that we have in the warehouse, and then we'll create a picking list from that. We also have the kitchen roles next door as well. So we had food packers, food prep, operational volunteer, and also an on-site admin. And there's no limit. You can get involved with as many roles as you want to. So you can volunteer in the warehouse, and then if you like the look of the kitchen roles, you can go and try that out as well. There is more training in terms of food safety for the kitchen role, not surprisingly, but I will talk to you more about that. So volunteering with us, so there's no minimum commitment. So you could do a couple of days a week. You could do, we have some people that just come in sort of once or twice a month. If you asked me what the ideal was, I'd probably say coming and doing the same shift every week. So you would get to know people better on the shift, and you would also get to know the charities that we were providing food to. So it would probably become a more engaging experience for you, but there's no minimum commitment. Travel expenses are provided, up to £6.60 a day for public transport and up to £10 a day for mileage. Because we're a surplus food charity, we do have quite a lot of short-dated food, so lunches normally available, and also snacks are provided. And training opportunities will be available via our learning management system. So just to talk to you now about some of our important policies and procedures. So safeguarding at the Felix project. So Felix's safeguarding policy aims to prevent vulnerable adults and children from experiencing abuse, neglect or exploitation. We have a zero tolerance policy on any form of discrimination. So if you witness or hear anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you believe it is a safeguarding issue, is offensive or discriminatory, then please let a member of staff know so we can address the matter quickly. You can also directly contact the Chief Executive, Mark Curtin, and there's his email address there. In terms of confidentiality, it's both our volunteers and our staff team's responsibility to keep any personal information, including the names of the people we work with and the names and the locations of the organisations we provide food to, completely confidential. That's because we provide food to places like domestic violence refuges, so it's obviously really important that those addresses remain confidential. So none of that is meant to alarm you, it's just meant to make sure that everybody is on the same page. So becoming a volunteer. So when can you volunteer? So these are our shift times for the warehouse. They vary, so these are the warehouse assistant times. So they vary a little bit if you want to be in the office, but not much. So I can talk to you more about that if that's what you're interested in doing. And these are our kitchen shift times as well. So they're slightly different. But if you want to take a note of them, or you can check back on this presentation to get the detail. And they're also going to be obviously on the shifts when you book in, so you can see the times there. So becoming a volunteer. So what stage of the process are you at? So you've had your info session, we're just approaching the end of it now. After this, we'll ask you to fill out a short application form, which should just take you a few minutes. Then there is some mandatory training. So there's 5 minutes for manual handling and basic food safety, and then 45 minutes on top of that for kitchen volunteers and for drivers only, and that's where you'll get to complete your food safety and hygiene level 1, and that's just to make sure that everybody knows exactly what to do in terms of being safe when you're working with food. And then the next step after that is to book your first shift. So if you have any questions, then please let me know, and we really look forward to seeing you in the Poplar warehouse or in the kitchen. Thank you very much.